Here we go.
We are live.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
We have company.
Our second official guest
Yeah.
on Love Spoken Here. I'm just getting the tea ready.
Can't have love
Yes.
spoken here without tea.
No,
It's nice to have chocolate too.
very big piece.
Mhm.
Grounding energy. Well, we'd like to introduce our guest. We say hello to everyone who's tuning in. Thank you. We're going live today in my magical healing room. So if people recognize it, this is where the magic happens.
It's a great space.
Yes.
It's an amazing space.
The energy in this space is amazing, and I'm not sure how you guys can view it, but there's like this white band of energy that's running just
You
above
see
our
it
heads.
perfectly across the screen.
Can you see it?
Mhm.
On the Facebook Live, it's happening. I'm
I don't
not
see
sure.
it
I
on
don't see it on
Instagram.
Instagram.
No.
But on the Facebook Live, we've got us. It's almost like a divine light.
It is. It's perfectly above.
Yeah.
It's right up here.
We've opened something tonight, ladies.
Yeah.
I think we have.
Yeah. What I love to do to Sarah is to just give her really short notice. I go, we have a guest. Someone's covered. Her name's Laura. She's amazing. And Sarah somehow trusts me.
Totally trust her. And then there's the the psychology major in me that wants to research and prepare. And I'm like, well, tell me more. Tell me about it. How am I going to
And then Vicki is like, oh, you're going to meet her an hour before the show. Don't worry.
It's fine. And it's
We met
great and it's
connected.
fine. Yeah.
So I want to thank Sarah for putting up with me. Because it takes a lot of courage and a lot of trust to completely surrender
Yeah.
and be in the flow. And that's kind of part of our conversation tonight.
Exactly.
It is,
That's actually a very
absolutely.
nice segue in
Yeah.
there.
So Laura actually messaged me when we had put out the call for guests. And she was the first one to say, I want to be on.
Thank you.
And she wanted to talk about intuition and surrender. So
Which is a big one.
it is, because
Yeah.
I feel a lot of us women, and I remember being there, and I'm sure you do,
Absolutely.
when you know that you're on the verge of something or something just doesn't feel right inside, there's this alignment, and then there's this fear holding you back, and then there's confusion, there's doubt, and so you sit in it, and then you don't take action, and then you hold on and you harbor these feelings of regret.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Laura wasn't one of those women who did that.
Actually, not really.
She feels the fear, does it anyways?
Pretty much. That's been my life.
That's the motto, right?
Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Absolutely.
Do you want to breathe? Should we breathe?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was just about to say. Would you like to guide us into the breathing? And I'll pick the card for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's
Okay.
the
So
deck.
it's coming from Nature Spirit. And I want to say hi to everyone who's tuning in live. I love you. Thanks
Thanks for
very,
tuning
very,
in,
very
friends.
much. It means so much to us when we actually see like live numbers watching, because then we feel this connection to you all. And I know for those who watch after, because you can't always watch it live with us.
No, and we know that you tune in afterwards.
Oh,
We
yeah.
do that too. So thank
Totally.
you. But
And-
there's something cool about being live and seeing the
Because what you're getting is raw. Like Laura has no idea what we're going to ask her. We don't even know what we're going to really ask her. And
surprise.
that's what I love about it. And that's why Sarah gets a little bit like, what is going on?
I need to prepare. I should have written an essay before we did this.
And I'm like, we're just going to do it.
Then we do it and it works.
It works. It just flows. It's beautiful. But that's life for me. That's exciting. That's experience. And that's what we feel at Love Spoken Here. We
And
provide.
that's part of why we work so well is you nudge me out of my comfort zone just enough that it like, all right, I trust you, girl. It's gonna be good.
You do so well. And I love that. I love seeing that because that's where I feel like the growth happens when we're
Yeah.
nudged.
Exactly.
does.
We were
Out
just
of our
talking
comfort
about that
zone.
earlier. Yeah, that's where the uncomfort is where that growth is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's breathe.
Go into breath.
Whew. Okay, so everyone close your eyes. And we'll take a nice big inhale through the nose. And hold it. And exhale through the mouth. Let it all out. One more. Do a deep breath. Inhale through the nose. Hold it. And let it out on a sigh. One more last deep breath in through the nose, nice and deep. Just hold that breath Release out through the mouth. Sigh if you want to. Let it out. Shake it out. However it wants to express itself. Whew.
Oh.
Okay.
2 cards just flew in on that one. See, when you're totally centered and grounded, the cards just fly. So
That's when it happens.
it's good, and we'll read those after. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I'm
thank you
excited.
for coming.
This is this is the first time I've ever done anything live online, so this is really cool.
Oh, great.
Really, really cool.
How do you feel going live in front of the camera?
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not fizzed in the least.
Right, right.
So, in a few short sentences, would you like to tell our wonderful audience your name and what you currently do in your life?
My name is Laura. I'm a certified professional aromatherapist. I'm also a Reiki master teacher. I offer Reiki healing sessions at Casa Aroma Wellness Center, as well as Enigma, which is on Leeswood Drive. And I also teach aromatherapy workshops and Reiki workshops.
And you know your crystals.
And I know my crystals.
Because I love it. I got a lot of crystals in here. We're attuned in this.
There's a lot of crystals in the
A lot of
room.
really gorgeous
Yeah.
Aw,
pieces.
thank you.
Yeah.
This is my jewelry, crystals.
Yeah.
That's my jewelry. Yeah, but.
It's the good shit.
Yeah. So I knew Laura in a different context. I studied aromatherapy at Casa Aroma, and when I knew Laura, you were working there.
Yes.
And I remember driving you home on a few occasions.
Yes.
And I would always ask, more about you and what you were doing. And I was always so curious as to why you weren't using your gifts on others at that time. And this was a few years ago. And if we lead into that, kind of what led you to taking the risk and kind of moving out of that comfort zone of where you were safe and having the knowledge that you do, and then taking it to the next level and offering it to others?
Well, what happened is that I felt on a personal level that I could no longer live in somebody else's shadows, which essentially that's what was happening at the time. So I felt very closed off because I knew I had gifts to offer, and I knew I was, able to be a healer and am a healer. I was just living in other people's shadows who said, oh, well, you're not good enough, or no, we don't want you doing this. This is for us only to do. We cannot share that space for you to be the healer you are. So I left that space. And when I came back, and I left that space for about 1.5 years. I was gone for 1.5 years and had a variety of experiences in terms of work, but also in terms of personal growth, like just really recognizing that, yes, I can heal. Yes, I have those gifts to offer. And as a result so I put these intention out to find a space where I could offer my healings and offer my teachings. And that's how I ran into my friend Teresa.
So just holding that thought there,
Yeah.
you were talking about intentions.
Yes.
So when you left, did you leave having another job?
No.
No. So you completely just
Jumped.
jumped.
Without the safety net.
Yep.
There was no
Yeah.
safety net. There was no financial safety net. There was no there was no safety net in any sense of the word.
You just knew that you had to shift.
Yes.
You had to move.
There was an internal, my own internal voice saying, it's time to go. It's time to move forward. You have to grow. You have to get back in the muck and stretch in order to proceed with my own personal healing. Because there was that time that I was gone, there was personal healing going on, just in terms of like self-worth and self-love and relearning self-care, and just really just being back in my own life, like a force in my own life.
Nice.
And that took time. I mean, obviously, as we all know, that doesn't happen in a day.
That's right.
That was a process. And so I got to the point where I just felt more comfortable with myself. I was out of everybody's shadows. I was on my
And
own.
this is when you had stepped away and taken the time?
Yes, exactly. This is when I had stepped away from where I was at to say, okay, fine, time out. I need to go. And I really, for probably about the first couple months that I had left, I didn't do any personal work in terms of like cleansing, like personal chakra cleansing, or I always smudged every day, and I still do to this day.
Right.
But in terms of like just like an energy clearing and stuff like that, because I just need to step back from all of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then one day I just woke up and I was actually talking to a friend of mine who was doing an energetic cleanse. And I just said, okay, what day you on? She said, okay, day 2. I'm like, okay, I'm on board. And we were each other's support systems. And it just kind of flowed
that's
from that.
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I do have my go-to people for the energy.
As we all do.
We
Yeah,
all do.
we all
Yeah.
do.
And that's really important when we do feel kind of unmotivated and stuck.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
nice to have the accountability
Yeah.
with someone who's on the sort of same wavelength as you are
Yes,
too. Yeah.
And we all have that person. We all, like, there's at least one person in our life
Oh
where we're so fortunate to have that. And if you don't, then you message us and
Exactly. Yeah.
we'll be there for
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah.
Help you. But, okay, back into
Mhm.
yeah.
setting this intention. So you started the energy cleanse, and then what is this intention? Like, what do you mean when you say you put out intentions?
For me, it means making a very clear, honest, concise statement to God, universe, to what your whatever you call it, and that for me, you're putting that out there into the universe. So you're creating like an energy.
Mhm.
You're creating that energy because words create energy, right?
That's right.
So being very clear about what you want or don't want, whatever your intention may be. Mine are always for what I do want, because my attitude is if you put up for what you want, then what you don't want falls away.
Right.
So it's been my experience. And after that, I let it go. So I don't think about it. I don't dwell on it. But I look at it as a time of co-creation because you put that intention out. So you're creating that energy with those words, with those thoughts.
Right.
And then the universe will just show up and say, okay, fine. You know what? Yes, you're doing like a live podcast tonight, or you see this book at the library, or you run into this person who has new information or has an opportunity that you weren't expecting, but is completely in sync.
You're speaking my language. This is how I've been living my life for the last few years, where a lot of people are like, that's weird. And I'm like, it works. It
just
works
works.
for me. So to have you, we didn't even speak about this.
No, there was no previous
No.
anything. It was just, can I come on your show?
Yeah. It's like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're doing the exact same thing
Yeah.
that I'm doing. And I'm not sure if that's the way that you do it. But
Oh yeah, it's been the last couple of years was
Yeah.
exactly that. You just sort of put it out there, and I mean, look where we are. I put
I
it
know.
out there. We met. It happened. It started to roll out. That's how it works.
Yeah.
The experience, in my experience, the opportunities present themselves, and never in the way that you expect them to.
No.
Which is why I had to learn to sort of toss
Let go.
those expectations
Mhm.
and let go, because it's never the way that you think it's
No.
going
Never.
to be.
No.
Yeah.
and that's the word surrender that you come into. So it's like setting the intention and then surrendering to the outcome, and just allowing for things
Yeah.
to come to you. That's the art of receiving, which most women and men
Hmm.
are not always the best at, because we're always in that role of giving.
That's right.
So to
It's
receive,
hard for a lot of people to receive.
we
right?
feel guilty.
Yeah.
But your intention, so that energy that you put out there, you're not going to be able to receive it unless you're open to receive.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from listening to the intuition.
So now that intuition inside of you, how does that work? So you've set that intention,
Mm-hmm.
and so now you're listening to the body for the cues, right?
Listening to body, listening to, like, for me, one thing I do in the morning is I get still, I get quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be that for 5 minutes. But at time, I don't put a time on it. I just sit in silence, meditate, some prayer, and just listen. Because I find I hear the most when I'm quiet,
Yeah.
right? And I enjoy my quiet. And it's been very helpful because then you can just hear. But then I also am able to look for people, because I also recognize, like, no opportunity is wasted,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, using Enigma as the example, I had no intentions of taking a left turn on that sidewalk that day. But I thought, well, you know what the heck, it's a nice day. And then I heard my friend calling, and I'm like, who's? And there she was sitting there, and we just started, I'm going to India. Do you want my job? She goes, yeah, you just got to meet Carol. And she goes, you're good to go. Carol's the owner of Enigma. Just all because I had gotten to a place about, I think, like 2 weeks or a month before that I put out, I wanted a place to do my healing work.
So you put it out, but it's like 2 or 3 weeks later is when it started to come in.
Come in, yeah.
Right. So it's not
It's not always instant gratification.
No,
and I think
right.
that's one thing worth clarifying because
It
a lot
is.
of people are under the intention that I'm putting this out there and why aren't I getting it? I don't
Yeah.
wake up with it tomorrow.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
could be 2 weeks from now, it could be 2 months from now, it could be 2 years from now, and you're like,
You know,
holy shit, I forgot I asked for that thing.
that's right.
Yeah.
Like the universe does not make a fucking wish foundation. You know what I mean?
Right?
We dropped an F-bomb in here.
Yeah,
We did.
we Oh yeah, no, it's a thing. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've set goals and stuff that literally like took 2 or 3 years to happen. Like I always
Yeah.
wanted to go down south, and it didn't happen for like 5 years, but I got to go.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
So, what made you? You knew that you needed to leave the position that you were in,
Yep.
and you knew that in order to make a change, you needed to sort of jump. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people have felt that. So, what made you listen to your
Yes.
gut and your intuition and your instinct and follow through with it instead of letting fear take over?
2 things. One, I know I'm always going to be okay. I always know I'm going to be okay. So that's
But how
my
do you
first-
know that?
Life. I've just like life has just thrown, like all of us have been thrown so many curveballs, and I've gotten through everything. You know,
So you have
Okay.
resilience.
I'm resilient. I'm very resilient. And also too, I just know if I just keep putting it out there, it'll come back. That, and I trust myself enough to know to listen to my intuition.
Trust.
Right?
That's a big word.
That is a very
I-
big word.
I
It's
just-
a misused word.
It
too.
is,
Yeah.
but I just knew because there was just something inside me saying, you got to listen. And there's been so many circumstances in life where I've just listened and
followed through on
followed
what.
through with it. You can set all the intention, you can do all you want, but unless you follow through, because you have to put your half into.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just setting the intention, but
That's
it's
right.
setting the intention and then taking the action. It
That's
could be a
right.
small step, it
Yeah.
could be quitting your job kind of step, but some step in a positive direction moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I'm a little crazy, so.
Aren't we all?
Because everyone's like, oh, you got a job? No, not yet. We're going to get one. Well, it'll come.
Exactly. You trusted and you knew.
Yeah, I knew it. It was more important. It's the way I look at it. It was more important for me to step out of that role and to leave than to worry about staying in a place where I was basically shrinking and where the energy was not a healthy at that time.
Allowing for you to grow.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
and I did a post on Instagram last night, really late, because that's when my inspiration hits. When everyone else is sleeping, that's when I have the stillness and the thoughts. And what kept coming up was betrayal. And it happened in our daily healing retreat that day as well. But the post is based on, in what areas are you betraying yourself?
Yes, that's so true.
That's a big one.
And that's when that intuition is so strong, because it's nudging you. It's making you uncomfortable. It's pushing you out to make the change.
Exactly.
Because you're not in alignment with your truth.
And that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And then when you made that change and you listened to yourself and you were in alignment, things just started flowing and happening for you, hey?
Yes.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Yeah. And I actually had a lot of varied experiences.
Well, I remember meeting you randomly.
Yeah, we met, like I was working at a retail store in Bahia, came in and we're like,
Oh, hey!
we started talking.
And then we connected and went to a few little things together. And I'm sure that little blip there was just two souls coming together to let you know you're supported in the universe.
Absolutely.
Because it felt really good to see you again, because there was that connection from Casa Roma.
Roma,
And,
yep.
So it was nice.
It really was.
Yeah. I feel like when we're in these places of change and there's uncertainty, the universe will always send you, I call them earth angels.
Always.
Just people that have been in your life from the past and who just come and are they're that bright light for you to help you remember.
And they just show up.
Yep.
Magically.
Very randomly.
Yeah.
And
I had that happen actually when I lived out in Edmonton. I basically fell flat on my face, 10-year relationship gone, no nothing. And then I happened to meet, and then I just put out, I said, listen, I can't do this. I said, I just need some help, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then again, that 2 weeks, that time went by, and I met someone who basically became my best friend. For like 3 years, we were inseparable.
Oh.
And it was actually a man,
Mhm.
which was interesting because at that
you
time
needed that healing
needed the healing.
from
Yeah,
a male perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we were inseparable the whole time,
Wow.
and just really close. And he helped, I could walk into his house at 2:00 in the morning, and he'd be like, "Yeah, hey, coffee's on," so I certainly understand like that
Yeah.
whole like people
Yeah.
coming through, right?
We're
It's
always
so
gonna
important.
get what we need and
Yep.
who we need.
When we trust
That's right.
and we're open to receive.
Yeah.
Receiving can be difficult, especially
Yeah.
as women. I think it's difficult because we're so trained and attuned to give and give and give and give, and the next thing you know, we're
Absolutely.
burnt out and we're snapping at this one or whatever we're doing
Yeah.
to release that pent up,
Yeah.
emotion.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So if you had any advice to offer the people that are watching, our lovely group of supporters at Love Spoken here, what do you intuitively want to share with people right now from your heart? Just,
I think
yeah.
I could think. Well,
Not what you think, what you feel.
Yeah.
But I
What
think
you feel.
Don't think too hard.
that life's got your back.
Mm.
That you're always going to be okay, and that if you just even open yourself just a little bit, say yes to life, and it'll all happen. And that any kind of life that you want to have, anything you desire, you can absolutely create your life in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
That really
Yeah.
came from your heart.
Yeah, it did.
I could feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really mean that. And you really
Yeah, you
believe it.
believe that. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell that that's not,
Yeah.
You can tell that's not just a rehearsed line
No.
you said in your, like, you believe that wholeheartedly. You can feel that. Yeah.
And you've created that life. And you had a year and a half of uncertainty.
No, yeah.
It was messy.
Yeah.
You
But
have to
you need
embrace
to-
that inner lotus.
Yeah, you need
Hang
to
out in the mud.
Yeah.
you need to get into the muck in order to grow.
Did you hear
You
that?
have to get into the muck.
Yeah.
You gotta get messy.
You
You
have to.
have to get messy.
Yeah.
And know that you're not always going to be in the muck. That lotus will bloom, but guess what, folks? You're not going to get a lotus without the mud.
That's right.
That's really true.
Yeah.
And now you're doing well. You're working at 2 different places, at Casa Roma Wellness and at Enigma.
Yes.
You're offering healing and workshops. And you also are an author. Did I not overhear you telling
Yeah,
someone?
I wrote a couple articles. The magazine's called Wheel of Life. It's a digital online magazine. The editor, her name is Angela Jeffries, who's also a friend of mine. And I wrote an article about Reiki, and I wrote an article about intention. So the intention article is in her winter issue, which I believe is still out.
Mhm.
And the Reiki article is in the fall issue. So you could I'm pretty sure you can get
Can go back.
and get online to get those.
And how was that for you? Did you ever think you would be an author or be writing articles, published articles?
I wasn't planning on it,
Yeah.
but I thought to myself, I was gonna ask Angela because she does online courses because she's a shaman,
Mhm.
and I said, well, maybe I'll see what she's up to. And then she had posting that she was looking for authors. Oh, well, I have stuff to say, so I'll
So why
email
not?
her. And
right?
she's like, yeah, sure. So I wrote an article. She published it.
See what happens when we speak our truth and
Yeah.
share?
Just
Yeah.
show up. Just
Yeah.
show up. And so do you feel now that you are living in your fullest truth?
Mhm.
And how does that feel?
Oh my God, it's very liberating.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Feel a little lighter walking through the world.
Yeah.
You feel liberated. I feel liberated. I feel happy and content because I'm aligned, and the happiness is not because I got this thing or I met whatever. It's a genuine like in yourself happy, because happiness is an inside job.
That's right.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy that you took the leap and decided to come on live, and this flowed so beautifully.
Yeah,
You
this
did,
was
yeah.
great. And I think this was a really important message for a lot of people. There are so many people who are sitting and knowing that where they are isn't the right place for them. They feel stuck. They feel stagnant. They feel that it's time for a change, but they're not sure what to do next, what the next step to take is, or they're scared to take the leap, or they're letting fear get in the way. And I think it's really important to hear that, like, look, if you just trust and jump without that safety net, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. And you really will be.
Yeah.
You
And
really
then
will be.
when you get in the flow and you align with who you are in the core and what you're supposed to be doing, everything's going to start coming at you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cards that popped up tonight.
Yeah.
Grandmother Earth.
And the
Circle of Life. So I'm just going to read the little piece here on the card meaning of Grandmother Earth, and it so ties in to what we're talking about.
Of course.
Because
So-
these never lie.
No. And they flew out right away. After the third breath, I just lifted my hand and these two cards jumped out. But it was basically, so Grandmother Earth's card is stop and take measure of your life. Assess who you are and where you are. Get grounded. Make plans for the future. But don't act on those plans until you are ready and feel secure and stepping forward. There is a profound sense of strength and power within you, and it is expanding now. Put your roots down. This is a time of preparation and going deeper. And it also is in alignment with the full moon
I
of
was
Virgo.
just gonna say, and this is like spot on with the moon too.
Right.
Like, get grounded, plant those feet.
Dig
Because,
deep. Yeah,
yeah,
because what you
Let's
are thinking
purge
right
right
now
now.
and what you are feeling right now, you are creating your reality. And it's so important right now
yeah.
that if old energy is coming up, old thought patterns, old insecurities, feel them, look them in the eye, and take your power back from them, because this is why they're surfacing.
Exactly. It's not,
The shadow is coming for you right now to empower you.
and don't be scared of it. Don't hide from it.
No.
Don't try and block it.
No.
Embrace it. Meet it head on.
Would you like to read Circle of Life?
Sure.
Okay.
Card meaning. All things are possible. Stand in your center and be open. The four winds are bringing your dreams to fruition. Embrace and accept where you are in the great circle of life. Bounty and abundance are flowing to you. If you've had a relationship or financial challenges, things are about to change.
Woo! I like that card.
Mhm.
Thank you, Nature Spirit.
Right?
Do you feel that you have abundance in your life? What does abundance mean for you?
Abundance, I don't look at abundance from a financial point of view. I feel abundant.
Yeah.
I do. And I feel abundant because, I'm where I want to be in my life. I'm who I am is who I am, and me is good, and I'm good with me.
Yeah.
And I have so much to be grateful for, like just the people that come into my life or have already been, or, like all of it. So I definitely feel abundant in life. Absolutely. There's, yeah.
You're amazing.
You can feel it off, right? Yeah.
This was so
Really?
fun.
This was great.
Thank you, Laura,
You're very welcome.
Thank you
for
so much for
being
being
our
guest.
official second guest. And,
Absolutely.
thank you, Sarah, for trusting in my organized chaos. Because I'm sure it's really nerve-wracking. Because for me, everything is that I already feel it before it happens. And I can't put it into words. But I already felt that this was going to be amazing.
To be a good.
Yeah, without having words for it. And so, and I know that's not always easy to work with somebody like that. So I just want to let you know I love you very much.
Thank you.
And,
And too. It's good to keep me on my toes. Like I said, you push me out of that comfort zone, and we need that.
I
right?
do that
We need
really
that
well,
nudge.
though, and I do it with love. Because I feel like when we allow ourselves to kind of get pushed out of our comfort zone, we realize that even if there was a bit of a blip tonight, and
It wouldn't
So-
be the end of the world.
No,
It's totally fine.
because then when we look at it later as a lesson or a life lesson, and we laugh about it because we're human. That's the thing. People are always trying to perfect things. They rehearse it, and then when it comes on, it doesn't always feel authentic. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel
And
real.
it's never going to go the way you rehearse it
No.
anyway.
Never.
No. This
Things
was so
are gonna
beautiful.
flow how they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just really happy that you came and that you took the jump. And anyone else who wants to be on the show,
Come talk with us.
send us a message. Happy full moon.
Yeah.
If any of you do crystal grids or set intentions tomorrow night.
Tonight too.
Oh, yeah,
We're
tonight,
gonna
yeah.
be really. Tonight it's
It's a
supposed
super
to be the brightest
Yes.
tonight that it is
Okay.
all year too. So it's good to put it out. They're gonna get really charged tonight and tomorrow night. Yeah.
I'm actually setting up a crystal grid tomorrow. So I'm creating new intentions, and I love to write them out, and I fold them, and I put them under my crystal grid.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice.
That's what I do. And
Yeah.
they always come true, just letting you know. They always
Do
come true.
that.
Yeah. That's my little secret to my life. And the fact that I love my life too.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
half the
abundant.
battle,
I
right?
do feel
Yeah.
abundant and blessed.
Yeah.
And I feel it's that energy that we actually create.
And it's a choice.
Hmm.
You're choosing to feel that way, right? Like you can choose to focus on the muck and stay stuck in it, or you can
Rise up.
choose to rise up and embrace the happiness and the joy.
And that's what we do at Love Spoken here. So we're going to create more content, share more stories, bring more, people on our show to help you rise up, to know that you're not alone in the muck, and that it's okay to stay there if you need to for a bit, and that we're holding space for you, and that when you're ready to move forward, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Every day. And when we can all collaborate and come together, we're all like, I've been saying it lately, I just keep seeing drops of water. And when all of those drops of water come together, we create a wave. And that wave is what creates impact.
Yeah,
So let's just make this world a better place, really.
that's right.
I love you guys. Have an amazing night.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, just have to get to the end. This is the blooper.